Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
So we're reading chapter 8. And let's just chant first verse. Then I'll begin. Arjuna Vacha.
Arjuna Vacha.
Kim tad brahma kim adhyatmam.
Kim tad brahma kim adhyatmam.
Oh, you know? Kim karma purushottama.
Kim karma purushottama.
Adhibhutam cha kim proktam.
Adhibhutam cha kim proktam.
Adhidaivam kim uchyate.
Adhidaivam kim uchyate.
Anybody can repeat?
Arjuna Vacha Kim Tad Brahma Kim Adhyatmam Kim Karma Purushottama.
You say, then we'll all repeat, just like I said.
Arjuna Vacha
Arjuna Vacha
Kim Tad Brahma Kim Adhyatmam
Kim
Brahma kim
Adhyatmam
Kim Karma Purushottama
Kim karma purushottama.
Adhibhutam cha Kim Proktam
Adhibhutam cha kim proktam.
Adhidaivam Kim Uchyate
Adhidaivam kim uchyate.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay.
Arjuna Vacha.
Arjuna Vacha
Kim tat brahma kim adhyatmam.
Kim tad brahma kim adhyatmam.
Kim karma purushottam.
Kim karma purushottamam.
Adhibhutam cha kim proktam.
Adhibhutam cha kim proktam.
Adhidaivam kim uchyate.
Adhidaivam kim uchyate. Okay, we'll start. Arjuna inquired, O my Lord, O Supreme Person, what is Brahman? What is the self? What are fruitive activities? What is material nature? What are demigods? Please explain into me. And second verse, Arjuna is asking more questions. Who is the Lord of sacrifice? How does he live in the body? O Madhusudan, and how can those engaged in devotional service know you at the time of death? So, this is 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And we have 8 questions. If you count, these are 8 questions, that's all. So Arjuna is asking 8 questions in 8th chapter. So you count, this is 8. Brahman, 1, 2, Brahman, self, what are fruitive activities, what is material nature, what are demigods, 5. And then, who is Lord of sacrifice, 6. How does he live in the body, 7. How can one be engaged in devotional service, know you at the time of death, 8. 8 questions. And Krishna is going to answer 8 questions now. But what Krishna is going to do, this chapter is all about last answer, last question. How can those engaged in devotional service know you at the time of death? That's the question which Krishna is most interested in. Because before this, Krishna has explained how to think about him when you are alive. All those karma yoga, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga, everything. It's when we are living, how to think about Krishna while performing actions in this material world. But what matters is, what do you think at the time of death? Because it is said, we all know it is said, life is preparation, death is examination. And I think Prabhupada, in one of his letters, he says that, I told yesterday that Prabhupada is writing to one of a devotee in letter. And Prabhupada says, you may be great devotee, but what you think at the time of death, that will matter. And if you can't think at the time of death about Krishna, then you may be great, but you are a failure. So that's what is Arjuna's point. He is saying, okay, if I practice entire life, devotional service, how should I think of you at the time of death? Because at the time of death, it's very difficult to think about Krishna. I mean to say, even when you get fever, it's very difficult to think about Krishna, no? But what about death? You don't have breath, you can't think, you have fever, your senses are going out of function, and still you have to think of Krishna. The mind is bewildered, it's impossible. When we can't think of Krishna when our mind is in healthy state, how can we think of Krishna when the mind is unsound? So all practices, whether Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Patanjali Yoga, any practice, that's to do with making mind fixed in God and not being bewildered by small disturbances. But Prabhupada said in one of his lectures that if you are disturbed by small material problems, petty material problems, okay, I have less money, and you are disturbed, or maybe somebody told something and you are disturbed, and if you are disturbed by these small things, how will you think of Krishna at time of death? It's impossible. So Prabhupada said that anybody who is disturbed by small material things, this means he has no spiritual standard. He is not advancing. He is not advancing. Simple. It's not big rocket science, it's common sense, is it? If you are not practiced to handle small disturbances, how will you handle big disturbance? So we can check. It is not that you can't ask this question to somebody or yourself, whether I will be able to think of Krishna at time of death. No, you know that. You know it. Now you can know whether you are. So many people ask us, many people have this perennial problem, that my mind is disturbed, this devotee is saying this, that devotee is saying this, how to handle this, how to handle that. Well, you know, there's one saying, there's one verse in Gita, Vishya Vinivartante, you know that? What's that verse? Niraharasya dehina rasvarjam rasopiyasya param drishtva nivartate. You don't know this? It's famous. Rasvarjam rasopiyasya. You might know English. By experiencing higher taste, you leave lower taste. So which is this verse? In which chapter it comes? I think before this it comes. In first 7 chapters it is there somewhere. Can you check? Vishya Vinarantante. Behind it's there. So Krishna says, by experiencing higher taste, you leave the lower taste. That's the idea. So what do you mean by this? What do you mean? Anybody? You don't
Higher
know?
taste is spiritual taste. And
Okay.
lower tastes are all material.
Okay, so what do you mean by taste, like what Krishna is saying? Experiencing higher taste.
Spiritual or material activities.
Okay. The point is, by experiencing higher taste, what is that verse?
259, Prabhu?
Okay, 259 now. Second chapter, 59th verse. I didn't discuss, we just went second chapter, but it's very important verse. Experiencing higher taste, you leave lower taste. So by experiencing the taste of holy name, you forget the taste of material world. That's one meaning. But then another meaning is, by experiencing higher sufferings, you forget lower sufferings. That's also taste, no? There's taste in suffering. That's a negative taste, but there's a taste. So it is simple. I mean to say, if you have small problems in your house, or anybody, maybe a group of people, somebody is saying something, somebody is saying something, there are always small petty things going on. And if you are disturbed, what to do, and suddenly terrorists come and they will say, we'll shoot you all. We'll think about all those things. He is saying this, he is saying this, come on, I'm going to be dead. You see, so experiencing higher taste, you leave lower taste. Experiencing higher sufferings, you will forget these small sufferings. If you have this realization, I am suffering this material world, birth, death, disease, old age. This body is suffering. It's not just birth, disease, old age. The fact that we have this body, this is suffering. If you can realize this fact 24 hours, small sufferings, okay. Who cares for that? It's a big. Prabhupada quotes that example, no, in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So this example is in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Mahaprabhu quotes, and Prabhupada explains that there was one female in olden days, she was queen. So she fell in love with one chowkidar, everybody knows, guard, gatekeeper. So she and that gatekeeper, they plotted to kill the king. So they plotted and she killed the king. And the gatekeeper told, okay, then you kill the king and then you come to me and then we live happily. So then she went there in the night. She killed the king herself. She went out to the gatekeeper. When she went to the gatekeeper and they were going in the forest, a snake came and it bit the gatekeeper and he died on the spot. So now she is in the middle of forest. King, she already murdered king. This guy is dead. She is in the middle of nowhere. She can't go back to kingdom. She'll be hanged there. The people know, And she can't live in forest. She can't do anything. So she thought, maybe, my God, now what can I do? I'll do suicide. So she goes to a bank of a river and she was about to jump. There was a milkman who came there and he stopped. He told, okay, no, you don't do this. This is bad. So he brought her back. And then with that milkman, and a milkman, and she was pregnant also by the king. She had a baby, so he convinced her somehow, don't die, at least for a baby. So she came back. She was living with milkman, and then she got a baby. But that baby, when she was going in the forest somewhere, some daku came, robbers, they stole the baby and they ran off. And she, no baby, no husband, no lover, no baby. She told, now I'll commit suicide. But that milkman told, no, you should live. There has to be some plan of God, no. So live. So then she told, okay, fine. Then she was just living like that and she became a little old. Then she was carrying pots of water daily, up and down, like previously females used to do, no? That's why they were not fat. Now, nothing to do. So, they were working hard. Females are walking around a kilometer, no? With the pots on the head. So, she was doing that when she was coming back, when she was doing daily. So, but then one day she met a person, beautiful person, and she fell in love. And then they fell in love, and then they were having whatever romance, whatever. And then she married that person. And that person was a king, actually. So then she, again, her fortune. Then she was queen. And she went there in the kingdom, and this king and queen, they were very happy. They were lying down on the bed. And this female, she told her whole story. This happened, that happened. And then what happened was that the king who married that female, he was shocked because he was her son. She married a son. It's funny. And she was messed up. She told my life is ruined, this nonsense. I married my son. What is happening? I lost husband. I married. Everything bad is happening to her. So she went off and she told, I'll do suicide, and this is too much. I can't handle this. So she went, and then she was going to do suicide. So one horseman came, and so she was carrying some water pot on the head, bringing water pot, and she was saying, okay, after this I'll do suicide, after some days, finish it off. Then one horseman came, and her all water pots fell down. All her friends, their water pots fell down, and everybody was unhappy. I was crying. We are traveling, we are walking so long, and a water pot's got broken. And this female was laughing. And they told, why you are laughing? She told, well, there's nothing to cry on this small suffering. If you hear my life, I've undergone so big sufferings. What is so big in one water pot breaking? You see, I murdered my husband, I married my son, and I lost my lover. And like my life is wrecked up, and this one water pot breaking, it doesn't now affect me. These small things. You see, that's the point. So if Rasvarjan Rasapyasya, if you experience a higher taste means if you experience higher sufferings, you will forget all these small petty things. That's why Prabhupada said in one of his lectures, that is why Prabhupada says again and again, if anybody is having anxiety at material platform, he is having no spiritual standard. Absolutely no spiritual standard, because this shows that at the time of death, you will not be able to remember Krishna. It's impossible. So, forget all these petty things. This is a very common problem. My mind is disturbed, especially in community. People are saying many things, no? Politics and this and that. Some devotee doesn't want to see that devotee, this devotee doesn't want to see that devotee. They are just saying something. Your whole energy is sucked up in that. So we should be like a lotus in a pond. Many things are happening around us. You should not be affected by these small things. And what is the trick of not being affected by small things? I just told. What's the trick?
Affected by big things.
Yeah, you should remember sufferings. Just don't remember Krishna. If you remember, oh Krishna, you will not be able to get out of it. Along with Krishna, you have to remember sufferings. That's what Krishna advises Uddhav. Uddhav, my devotee, always remember me and also death. So in your house you have Krishna photos, you should put Krishna deities. But you should also have pictures of death. Maybe somewhere. With Krishna. So then you remember, oh yeah, there's death also. And because we forget death, that's why we are affected by small things. It's very important. One eye is Krishna, one eye is death. One eye is spiritual word, one eye is material word. Prabhupada says, in your Krishna conscious word, don't forget this material word. Otherwise you'll not be able to get out of it. And it's common sense. I mean to say, if you're in India, you are all in India, and many Indians, like almost 90%, maybe 99% people have dreamed to come to America. This is a dreamland. Mm-hmm. Why? Because, why they come to America?
More comforts.
Yeah, because they hear that this place is more comfortable. Whatever it is, India is not that comfortable. There are problems. If India was as comfortable as America, nobody would have desired to come, no? Is it? So you need both information. You need information that this place is good, and you need information that that place is bad. Then you will want to leave that place. If this place is good, that place is also good, then you might say, yeah, America is good, but well, this is also, I don't want to leave this place. I'm happy here. See, that's the point. So if you know that there are so many sufferings which you can't even imagine, then, and you always remember that, then small sufferings will not affect you here. Simply by thinking spiritual word is good, you will not be able to, you will not want to leave this. We are so stupid that we have bound ourselves in small petty things. It's our problem. We are stupid. No, I've been telling. Because we don't see the big picture. If you see small picture, you'll be entangled in that. No, that's what a housewife, okay, my husband, 2 kids, my house, that's all, finish. Entire world can be blasted. He doesn't care, Okay, I'm happy. So it's a small thinking, no. But if you have a big thinking, okay, this house is not just my house, entire world is my house, no. Vasudeve Kutumbikam. Entire world is my house. Lord Rishabdev says, sky is my roof, directions is my wall, wind is my dress. So that's how he feels like that. It's a big realization, big picture. Then you can be out of these small things. And that's the question of Arjun. How to think you at the time of death in devotional service. And this is why I am saying this so much theme I am making, because this chapter will help you to understand that if you can think of Krishna at time of death, if you understand the big picture, the reality. If you are not in reality, you will not be able to remember Krishna. So by chanting Hare Krishna, by reading Bhagavad Gita, you understand reality. And the reality is we are in problem. Although we think we are happy. Is it? If you think you are happy, Krishna will do something. Krishna will plan to make you understand you are not happy. So better you should understand yourself you are not happy. Otherwise, Krishna will have to do something. He will do something. He will give you maybe some sufferings, because you don't realize there's sufferings, no? Is it? So it is voluntarily good to understand we are suffering. Otherwise, वो एक कहावत है ना, सीधी इंग्लिश से ही नहीं निकलता तो टेढ़ी करनी पड़ती है. You know this Hindi saying? English, what do we say? Is there any parallel metaphor for this?
There is a way.
It is said in Hindi that whatever can't be solved straight away, you have to devise some plan to solve it, some crooked plan. But it has to be solved. The problem must be solved. So Krishna is like that. So if we still feel there is enjoyment in this world, even 0.001%, Krishna will have to do something to make you realize there is no enjoyment. And the place where you feel enjoyment, Krishna will plan such a plan that from the very place, very person you are feeling enjoyment, from that very place, very person you will get suffering. So your mind will be off from that thing. You see? That's how Krishna works. So okay, if you understand this, now we understand 8th chapter. 8th chapter, Krishna is talking about both. He's talking about death, he's talking about himself. Both. And then you attain the Supreme. Chapter's name is Attaining the Supreme. Just don't keep on looking towards light. You also have to remember darkness. Just don't try to know good. You also have to know bad. No, I'll not know bad. If you avoid bad, I'll not know anything about bad. If you avoid bad, you will become bad. Because you don't know what's bad. So whatever you avoid, it will come and catch you. So okay, this is bad, this is good. Bad must not be engaged in the service of Krishna, good must be engaged in service of Krishna. Any concept, anything, any person you leave not connected to God, it will catch you, it will destroy you. So you see, absence of light is darkness. So when you know bad, you understand absence of goodness will make you bad. Then you good. Then you realize, okay, good. That's a good thing. Okay, now let's read. So now Krishna handles this question: how at the time of death we should think about it. Okay, so this is 3rd, 4th verse we leave, and we directly come to 5th verse. From 5th verse, he is starting this to answer this, and immediately he says in 5th verse. So anybody remembers the 5th verse? 8th chapter is very important. What's the 5th verse?
Antakale che mameva smaran muktava kalevaram. Krishna says in 5th verse, whoever at the end of his life quits his body remembering me alone, at once attains my nature, there is no doubt. Okay, the question is, Krishna says, whoever quits his body remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. What do you mean by this statement? At once attains my nature, what do you mean by that?
Like eternity.
Okay, at once attains my nature means in quality he'll become like me but not in quantity. That means he will get a spiritual body. Just like I have spiritual body, he'll get a spiritual body. So his body will be made of Sat Chit, eternity, bliss, knowledge, but not in same capacity. Krishna's bliss is infinite. Our bliss is not infinite. But the point is,
even though our bliss is not infinite, you can experience infinite bliss. There are two things. Is it? So jnanis, when they meditate, they can understand they are not this body. And they can come to platform of soul. And soul automatically has bliss in it. Because Krishna has bliss, no? So as soon as you come to platform, when you chant nicely, by chanting, slowly you will get beyond your body, your mind, your intelligence, and you can see when you chant by the power of holy name, you are getting beyond this. Your body, mind, intelligence will dissolve. It will start dissolving into the elements. You will come at platform of soul. As soon as you touch soul, you will feel bliss. As soon as you touch matter, you don't feel anything, no. Nothing. But as soon as you touch soul, you will feel bliss. So, but sometimes, if you touch matter, you also feel bliss, no? Sometimes. If you touch some soft thing, you feel nice, no? That's matter. That is because, that is another thing. That is because we have a misconception that matter is everything. But people who have a right conception that is that matter, their spirit, soul, they can really understand there's nothing. So, that is their bliss. But the point is, soul has finite bliss. Devotees can feel infinite bliss, which is there in Krishna. How? How do they feel?
Because the soul is expansion of Krishna.
You understanding my question?
Yeah.
You understanding my question? Everybody?
Because Krishna is in the soul.
No. First, you have understanding my question or not?
How do devotees feel infinite?
Yeah.
And soul can only...
When soul has only finite bliss, Krishna is infinite bliss. Krishna can feel infinite bliss, we can feel finite bliss because we are finite. But by devotional process, we can also feel infinite bliss.
Krishna gives us his mercy.
That's a very general answer.
With loving Krishna.
Oh, that's very general answer. This is answer to all questions.
You have that bridge with the...
What's the logic with that?
We aid Krishna in his bliss.
Okay, if you can develop that logic, I'll understand. Are you understanding my question, everybody? No?
Yeah.
So, what do? By Jnana Yoga, you can feel finite bliss. Because Jnanis meditate on themselves. But by Bhakti Yoga, you can feel infinite bliss. That is why we say Bhakti Yoga is superior to Jnana Yoga. And Dhyani and Jnanis, because Bhakti can give you infinite bliss, what God feels. That you can feel. So, what do? How that happens? That happens because in devotion, it is common sense, See, if, just like you go to movies, is it? So movies, whatever happiness hero is feeling, you also start feeling, no? Is it? When hero is like dishum, no? Then your children also, yes, come on, no? Like, you don't have to do anything with that. It's an illusion. There is no hero actually. It's just electrical signals, no? Pixels. But still you feel there's a person and you don't have to fight. You're sitting, you're eating a popcorn, but still you're like, yes, come on. And then whenever hero is weeping, you are weeping. No? Is it? Like everybody saw Ramayana Mahabharata and everybody was weeping, no? Is it? So when Rama is weeping or Sita is weeping, you are happy. And when they're happy, you're happy. See the point? So the point is, you start feeling their happiness and their distress. It has nothing to do with your life. After 3 hours, you are in your home, they are in their home. But you start feeling their happiness, distress. How? Because now you are identifying with that person. No? You are attached to him. So when you are attached to Krishna, you start feeling his bliss. You understand? It's common sense. You will start feeling his bliss. So what bliss he has, if you are attached to him, you will also start feeling. And that is devotion all about. You start identifying with God. And when Krishna leaves Dwarka, when Krishna leaves Vrindavan, Gopis are unhappy, Vrajvasis are unhappy, you feel unhappy when you read Krishna book. When they meet, they are happy, you feel happy. And that's how You can feel, although you are finite, you can feel infinite bliss by Bhakti Yoga. You see, that is the meaning of he attains my nature. It's not a simple thing. He attains my nature means he will start feeling what I am feeling. My infinite knowledge, infinite bliss. He will start sharing my bliss. We will share his bliss because you are identifying with him now by power of devotion. And that's why your life becomes perfect. You become godly. You understand? So this verse is very important for this understanding. Okay, so this is, Krishna says, okay, at the time of life, whoever thinks you will attain my nature. But the question is it possible to think about him at the time of death? Or why do you have to think at the time of death about him? So Krishna gives the logic. So what's the next verse? Can you tell without seeing? No. Yes. So there's a law. Whoever thinks, whatever you think at the time of death, you will become that. You will take that body. And it is very simple to know what you are going to become next life. It's not a mystery. You all know now what you are going to become. You see wherever you attach, that you are going to become. That's all. If a man is attached to wife, he will become female next life. That's all. That's going to happen. And wife is attached to husband, she is going to become male. Interchange. That's all. The next life, wife will be husband, husband will be wife. Again they'll get married. That's going to happen. You agree or don't agree, but that's going to happen like that. So, actually, Prabhupada said in one of his room conversations, most of the males are going to become females, and most of the females are going to become males, because that's what this word is all about now. So, you can simply know. It's not a big deal to know what we are going to, where we are going to land in our next life. So, if you are attached to eating meat, you become meat. If you are attached to eating pigs, you become pig. If you are attached, Americans, they are attached to their dogs, no? Dogs. It's very risky. They are planning to become dog. They have themselves brought their destiny with them. And it is unlucky for the person who is keeping dog. He's going to become dog. But it is very lucky for the dog. Because he is going to become a human next life. And so Prabhupada said that, I think Prabhupada said in one of his conversations, he was talking about this terrorist, Pakistan, India. Prabhupada said, so foolish they are. Like these Indians, freedom fighters, Mere Bharat ki jai, this. But they are always thinking of Pakistan. So they end up, after death, they end up becoming Pakistani. Or maybe it's Islamic people, if they're fighting together, and that person is always fighting with India is always thinking of India, he'll come back, he'll become Indian, and they'll again fight. So you become your enemy. You're thinking of your enemy, thinking of killing your enemy, but the laws of karma are so strong that next life you become that person. So that is why Krishna says, don't desire something, don't hate something. Both are bad. With raga bhaya krodha, what's that verse? Man maya mama pasrita, then bhavo jnanata sa putaman bhava magata. We discussed this. Get rid of both attachment and hate. Both are bad. Both will bind you. Get rid of mode of goodness, mode of ignorance, mode of passion. Mode of goodness will also bind. We are talking
Ego.
attachment, ego. And mode of ignorance and passion will also bind because you hate. So both sides of coin. If a brahmachari thinks, I'll marry, he'll get married. If he thinks I'll not marry, he'll also still get married. Both ways. Because anyway you're thinking of marriage now. That is Chanakya Pandit's advice. If you keep on thinking, no, I'll not marry, you'll end up marrying. That's all. So don't think both. Neither yes, neither no. Think of Krishna. That's what Krishna is saying. Don't think of this material world. If you think of this material world, whether favorably or unfavorably, you're going to get bound here. It's going to bind you. So you know what this Dalai Lama, like present one, he told that actually in last life also he was Dalai Lama. Mostly they continue, no? They find them. So this present Dalai Lama, they found him in Switzerland. Present or previous to present. Exactly, I don't know which Dalai Lama. But one Dalai Lama they found in Switzerland. Like, so you know the tradition, no? How it goes. A team goes and they find a child. And when all signs are there in that child, then they take that child and make him Dalai Lama. It's not successor they find in the community. It's not like that, because he's born and again. It is said he will be born again and again for the benefit of people, their own community. So one of the Dalai Lama they found in Switzerland, and that Dalai Lama said that yes, I am found in Switzerland. Why? Because in previous life he was Dalai Lama. What's happening to him? What happens to him? I'm just wondering what happens to him. He's really hyper, huh?
He wants to write.
Oh, right, okay. Anyway, it's okay. Okay, so the point is, he said that in last life he was Dalai Lama, and when he was preaching, he once came to Switzerland. Actually, he didn't say. His secretary was very old. He said, yes, last life, this Dalai Lama, I traveled to him in Switzerland, and he liked Switzerland very much. But then he left that place. He was like, he forgot everything. He liked so much, and he told at that time, his secretary told that he was saying, yeah, I want to live in Switzerland, it's so nice place. And that desire brought him back into Switzerland. You see? So it is very risky to desire anything. Prabhupada says, even if you desire one samosa, for that you will have to come back. Samosa, you know samosa? You have to come back to eat that samosa. You take one birth to eat one samosa. And then don't
like gulab jamun, rasgulla, everything.
Yeah. So
we are coming back repeatedly.
Yeah, so the point is how to get out of this liking and hatred. The only way is you think of Krishna. If you don't like Krishna, you will be entangled in all these things. Artificially we can't forego liking and hating. You can't do that. But higher taste you leave, lower taste. So you have to check your heart. You have to check your heart where your emotions are going. It's all emotions, no liking, hatred. It's not intellect.
Prabhuji, here you are again referring to higher taste. Again, you mean like higher taste, you are referring to Krishna.
No, higher taste has many meanings. That's why.
Okay.
This is one meaning.
This one.
Krishna.
Earlier you said like sufferings.
Yeah, both are higher taste.
Okay.
Both are higher taste. In relationship, both are higher taste.
Okay.
So you have to think of Krishna, yeah, Krishna, Krishna. And also, of course, suffering of this material, but both. Yes. So if you think about that, then we can get over all these things. And you have to see your emotions, where your emotions are traveling. Just don't see your intellect. Generally we see our intellect, no? Is it? Logic. Whether I am able to understand this or not understand this. Life doesn't go just by understanding. Life also goes by emotions. Emotions matter because at the time of death, you will have no understanding. Your intelligence will be blocked. You can't think anything logically at the time of death, no? You can try now. You stop your breath and try to think logically. You close your breath, close your nose, pranayam. Don't breathe. You will not be able to think. If you stop your nose, I'll catch your nose. I'll not allow you to breathe.
So no oxygen in the
And after 2 minutes anyway, you will be dead. After maybe half a second or maybe 30 seconds, I'll ask you, what is 1 plus 1? You will not be able to tell any damn thing. I want my breath. Is it? So intelligence will stop, but your emotions are there. They're traveling here and there. Whatever you attach, they're traveling. Whatever you desire, hate, they're traveling. And that will matter at time of death. And that is why bhakti is to do everything about with emotions, is it? Is emotion, no? Feelings. So you have to check your feelings where they are going at time of living. And that everybody can check, no? You can check. It's not, you can't cheat yourself. You know where your feelings are going. So you have to protect your feelings like you protect a baby. And focus it on Krishna, like a laser beam, no? You put all emotions there. Take all emotions from this material world from yourself also, put it in Krishna. That is Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness. You're fully conscious of Krishna. Not just by intellect, but by emotions as well. That's what matters. That's why Krishna says, whatever you think at the time of death, that state you will attain without fail. 6th verse. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, that state he will attain without fail. It is not just thinking, it is thinking with emotions. Wherever your emotions will go, there you are. So now you may be thinking, yes, I am not this body, yes. You know everybody? Everybody knows. So your thoughts are going, by thought you are convinced you are not this body or soul. But what about your emotions? Your emotions are going in body. Is it? Intellect is with soul, but emotions is with matter all around you. So, where you will be born? If emotions are going towards matter, you will be born in matter. So, intellect helps to guide emotions. That's what we are discussing, no? Why I am asking you logic? Why am I giving you logic? We are discussing Gita? Krishna says in Gita at the end of chapter, reading Gita is to worship me by intelligence. You read that, Gita?
Right.
So why intelligence necessary if emotions are everything? Because intelligence can guide emotions. Just like parents guide children. Children don't have developed intelligence. No, they are emotional beings. So parents have developed intelligence, they guide them. No, if there are no parents, children get spoiled. Everybody knows. So our emotions are like child. And intellect is like parents. It has to guide emotions towards Krishna and help get out of this. That is why Krishna says, whatever you think at the time of death, Sadatad bhava bhavita. You see this word in Sanskrit, then you will understand. 6th verse. What Krishna is saying, Sadatad bhava bhavita. Bhava means what? Prabhupada translates as state of being. But actually, if you see bhava in literal translation, what is bhava? Emotions, no? State of being. Your state of being is that what you feel. What do you feel? You feel you are great. So your state of being is you are egoistic. No? You feel discouraged. So your state of being is that you feel you have inferiority complex. No? You see, it's all with emotions. Bhava bhavitaha. Whatever bhav you have, that bhav will overtake you. Bhavitaha. Bhavita, you understand? So your soul will become infused with that bhava. Bhavita. Red and redness. You understand? Red and redness. Bhava and bhavita. So emotions, whatever emotions you have, you become that. It'll take you. You understand? So just like we say, Krishna Mai Radha, Radha Mai Krishna. Radha Mai Krishna. Krishna is always thinking of Radha. So we say Radha Mai. And about Radha, what we say? Krishna Mai. You understand? We add Mai, Krishna Mai. She is always thinking of Krishna Mai. That is this word bhavitaha. If you add bhava, if you add bhavitaha, it becomes you are thinking that, you will become that. You understand? So if you are attached to your friends, you become your friend. If you are attached to animal, you become animal. Bharat Maharaj, he became animal. If you are attached to yourself, then what you become?
Yourself.
If you are attached to yourself, you become yourself. That's all.
Attached to devotees?
If you are attached to devotees, that's a good thing. You become devotee in spiritual world. That's a very good thing. So attachment to devotee is not bad. But attachment to devotee should be on spiritual platform, not bodily platform. Then there's a problem there. So
what happens to those who are worshipping fake gurus like Sai Baba?
Yeah, if you are attached to nonsense gurus, what will happen?
Sai Baba is a fake guru?
No, that big hair.
Or Satya Sai Baba?
Satya Sai Baba.
Yeah, all these now, they are all fake. So what do you become? If you are attached to fake guru, what do you become? Well, you become fake guru. Again, you become fake guru in one life, next life. But Shastra says, if you are attached to fake guru, and if you take initiation or whatever, and if you don't leave him, Next life that fake guru will become snake, and all these people who are the disciples, they become ant, and these ants will eat that snake. That's the punishment. That fake guru's punishment. Alive. Alive, you eat him alive. And the next life you become snake, and all these ants will eat you alive. That's a punishment. You go on like that. Because in laws of karma, ignorance is no excuse. Prabhupada said, ignorance is no excuse. You said, I didn't know. Well, you should have known. That's all. Why you're driving car if you don't know?
No, but so many Americans don't get the opportunity to know Krishna.
They are unfortunate. And there's something called unfortunate also. No? Because of their sins in previous life, they can't know. They have created this situation.
For not
for not being fortunate. It's nothing happens by chance, no? That I'm unfortunate. There's no unfortunate. You are responsible for your actions. That is why there's a big word in America that in America means, I mean to say in modern word, that he's a victim. We say victim. They are victims of hunger, they are victims of tsunami, they are victim. And then it seems that person is innocent. This word, victim. But that's wrong. He's not innocent. He has done something and is reaping that result. Nobody is victim. Everybody is reaping their own results. Suppose if some person is going on the road and a gang comes and he beats him, like innocent person, ordinary, and he beats him like blood and everything. So everybody will feel pity for him, no? My God, what he's getting, what's happening? But if that person, so if there's another person and he's a terrorist and people come and beat him, will you feel pity? No. Why?
Because he is not innocent.
Because he's a bad guy, he's not innocent. You will not feel pity, and you will say beat him more. And you will also go and beat him once. Is it? Now the point is, this person who was getting first beating, you were having pity. For terrorist who was getting beating, you were not having pity because you know he's terrorist. But the point is, if you are spiritual, you will know that the person who was getting beating, innocent person, in the last life he was a terrorist. If you know this fact, and then you see the whole situation, will you feel pity? No, because you know in last life he killed so many people. You see, it changes, no? So the point is, that's why saints don't feel pity for these small materialistic things. No pity. No pity. This compassion on materialistic platform is useless. If you have compassion on materialistic platform, that means you don't have knowledge. Proper knowledge. You don't have knowledge. You don't have realization. So see, so many people are hungry, in this world. So somebody asked, actually they asked Prabhupada, I think Prabhupada once came to Hyderabad, and there were no rains, hunger all over. And the reporter asked, so you are a saint, you have come to Hyderabad, what are you going to do for hunger problem? So you know what Prabhupada said? Prabhupada said, we'll do kirtans. And it will rain, and your problem will be solved. And in fact, Prabhupada did kirtans and it rained there. So the point is, like Prabhupada didn't have ordinary compassion, like materialistic compassion. Oh, they are hungry, okay, distribute food. Well, it doesn't matter. They also made people suffer in last life. They did that, and they're suffering. Just like this guy, innocent guy who was terrorist in last life. If you know, you will not have pity. If you know these people who are hungry, they made millions of people hungry. Okay, that's okay. He has to suffer by laws of karma. Is there any solution? The only solution is to give him this knowledge that he did something in last life and he's reaping back. So what he needs to do is to serve Krishna. And that's how you get out of this. You see, it's a difference. And that is why Krishna is saying in this verse, whatever you think at the time of death, you become that. And the interesting thing is, whatever you think at the time of death, it is not just death. Whatever you think at entire life, that you will think at the time of death. So people have logic, no? Okay, entire life we will enjoy. In the time of death we will chant Ram, Krishna, and then we'll go back. It's not going to help you. It's not going to help you. You have to practice entire life. And this is very common sense. If your whole day, you go to some party, enjoy whatever, and the night you take your bead bag, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Okay. You might be able to fix your mind, but then you get sleep, you sleep. Will you dream about Krishna?
Emotions are
because whole day you were doing nonsense. And as soon as you sleep, your mind is out of control. Can you control your dreams? Can you choose your dreams? Okay, today I'll dream about apple. No apple. You can't choose your dreams. Mind chooses what you think. When you are asleep, you go out of control. So that is death. When you die, you lose control on your mind. And then mind will decide what to think. So what you are doing entire day, that mind will think in your dream. What you are doing entire life, that mind is going to think at the time of death. So you might be chanting Hare Krishna, and die. Your Hare Krishna is stopped. Now what do? You are in risk. Stopped. Now mind is free to do anything and think anything. And you think and you get that. You get that body. It's not easy to do all those things. So your soul should be chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. You have to practice so that not only your tongue is chanting, your mind starts chanting, your intelligence starts chanting, your soul starts chanting. Soul will start chanting only when you have love. Otherwise soul doesn't chant. That is why love is important. When your soul starts chanting, you will die, body will stop, mind will stop, everything. Body will stop, but soul will be chanting Hare Krishna. And then mind can hear chanting Hare Krishna. And he can't think anything else. And you go back to God, simple. So, that is why this verse is very important to help you understand everything. Of course, Krishna helps at the time of death. Krishna says if anybody is serving me entire life, sincerely, and if he doesn't become perfect, I will help him to remember me. But if you have not practiced, then it's a risky thing. Krishna will help you only that much, how much you have put efforts. Yathamam prapadyante samsafe bhajamyam. He can do something extra also. But as I was telling you, if your passing marks 60%, and if you get 50%, teacher can adjust and make you pass. But if you have got 20%, come on, I can't help you. Okay, do whatever. So it's not easy. Laws of karma are not easy. It's not easy to break this code. You know matrix? Matrix, you know. It's not easy to break this matrix. It's not easy. We are caught up in this.
So Prabhuji, is it correct to think that some of the very pure devotees in ISKCON, they die of cancer? So they are kind of wiping out their karma?
No, whatever advanced devotees they suffer, it is all planned by Krishna. It is not due to karma. Not due to karma. Karma doesn't have a hold on people who are practicing purely. It is planned by Krishna to do he has some plan.
To take them
fast. To take them or whatever. We can't understand. It's complex. Or to give others people faith. Just like Prabhupada suffered, no? His kidney failed. Suffering. So they asked Prabhupada, why are you suffering? So Prabhupada said, because of my disciples. That was one answer. They are doing wrong things, so spiritual master has to share, no? And then Prabhupada also said once that why I am suffering, I am teaching you how to think of Krishna when you suffer at the time of death. So sometimes Krishna gives suffering to pure devotees to help other devotees have faith. You see, this person, in cancer also he is doing devotion, my God. So it's innocent people, new devotees, they get faith, yes. So that's Krishna's plan. That person who is advanced, he might not be having disease because of his own karma. There is no karma for him. So Krishna, to teach others, he is using him in service. So that's his service to become unhealthy at that time. Okay. This is complex. Krishna thinks, Krishna is Teda, no? He stands his all plans are like that also. Like this. That is why one of the quality of Krishna in Nectar of Devotion is he is Gambhir. Gambhir, you understand Gambhir?
Yeah. Serious.
Serious. What do you mean by serious? Krishna doesn't laugh? What? He's always laughing.
Atmaram.
But how does Rupa Goswami define serious as? A person who is serious. That means that you can't understand his plans. That is a serious person. He might be talking, he might be doing anything. But because he takes his work seriously, he plans seriously, no? Is it? Because he plans seriously, he has put lot of thought, lot of time in his plans. Ordinary people cannot understand that. Because he has put lot of thoughts, no? Is it? So seriousness is to do with plans. No, Krishna takes everything very seriously, no? He's God. His plans are very serious. And we can't understand what he's doing.
Maybe same example. Could this also be the message conveyed by Krishna that, for cancer example, that devotees should become health conscious?
I don't know. But Krishna doesn't really talk about body. Body is destroyed. We don't think about body much. You can become health conscious.
So then why did Krishna give the body? It's
just
not a gift.
Krishna gave body to use it, leave it, go back to him.
So it's not a gift. It's a curse.
It is a curse. It is punishment to you. This body is a punishment. That Bhagavatam says. The fact we have taken body, this shows we are sinful. It's not a gift. Gift, it is Vyadhi Mandiram. It's a temple of diseases. Ayurveda. The Ayurveda begins with that. Temple of it's a best use of bad bargain. That's his body. So of course you take care of health. Bhagavatam says you should take care of health. Taking care of health is not sense gratification, but limit it. Don't be so conscious of your health. Don't be so conscious of body. You will take another body. How much you will take care of your body? How much you can do? One life, next life, third life. In next life you will not even have knowledge of taking care. What you will do? Nothing. This body will get destroyed. Use it, throw it. That's all. Use your car, go to destination, just forget it.
So if you go with that attitude in the spiritual world, what about spiritual body? Use it and throw it?
No, that is eternal.
Spiritual body is eternal. No disease, no birth, no death. That's what.
But the attitude goes with it, is it not?
No. You know you are spiritual. You are eternal. You are that. You can't throw it. You are not this. What you will do with that attitude? Attitude, okay, throw this. But how do you throw this? You are that, no? You can't do that. But this is matter. We don't have time. We don't understand. We don't have time. If your house is on fire, what do you think? Of your health? Get out somehow. So the point is...
Why? The house is on fire. You just say you're not the body. Just stay fire and go. Let the body
No, that's also foolishness.
That's right.
So the point is, but extra health conscious is not good. That's bad.
Define extra.
Extra is always thinking. Extra for example, Patanjali, Ramdev Baba. He's extra into body. No spiritual knowledge. Always body. What do you do with this body? That's not a good ideology. Patanjali Yoga never talks about health. If you read Patanjali Yoga, what they're propagating, Patanjali Yoga book, that Patanjali Yoga Shastra, it is having 4 chapters.
Prabhuji, I take your leave now. Thank you.
Well, you should hear, no?
No. There are some things which I cannot hear.
No.
Disciple of Ramdev Baba.
No, that's okay. That's okay. He is teaching a technique. That's okay. You should understand. It's not a big thing. He's not teaching spirituality. He tells, I am teaching health. That's not bad. It's not bad to teach health. But the point is, we should not be so health conscious. That's the point. And that's what Krishna says, no? It's not bad to take care of health. We also take care of health. We also do exercises. And devotees are doing here, no? So you're helping them. That's not bad because you need body. Body is a vehicle. But to think only of vehicle and not of soul, that's wrong. That's all Krishna is saying. And that's all Patanjali has to say. Patanjali Yoga Sutra. So if you understand in right perspective, what's the big deal? It's not bad. So both things are necessary. But it has to be combined. But more necessary is soul. That's the point. So you make people healthy to help them understand that you have to understand soul. That's how you have to go.
Like we are always enduring for money, and we forget everything else. When money is there, we can't do anything.
Yeah, that's what. So you need little money also.
Yeah.
Krishna says, Bhogaishwarya prasaktanam taya prita chetasam. If you are too attached to these things, that is bad. But if you don't have these things, that is also bad. Both things are bad. Because then you can't think of Krishna. So you have these things, use them, but don't become entangled in them.
Simple example.
That's the
if
message.
I have knee pain, I cannot do bhakti.
Yeah.
Your attention will go.
So take care of that. That's all. But this is the Americans, they are always thinking of their body. They are like too conscious, no? Health conscious. Always body. That's wrong. That's what Krishna is saying. Don't do that. Become healthy, spend your time and think about God. Get out. And don't take body again. So you have no knee pain in spiritual world. Your spirit solved. You permanently solve the problem. This is temporary problem. So like that you have to understand. You have to understand the whole picture, no? Whole picture. Some people are teaching yoga, but they are teaching as a technique to make people healthy. Okay, they are giving some knowledge. But Krishna is giving complete knowledge, complete package. And that helps, no? If people don't have complete knowledge, what they are going to do? You can't help them. And in fact, you know what? If we follow spiritual life nicely, then we also don't become unhealthy, because all disease begins with mind. That's what all yoga shastra says. It begins with that. Disease begins with mind, and if your mind is happy, you don't get disease. So one part of all yoga shastras, all health systems, anywhere in India you go, traditional schools, everybody will tell you spirituality along with yoga. Because if you don't do spirituality, your mind will not happy. Your mind is not happy, no matter you do, you can adjust, but your body will not become that healthy. So automatically everything comes up. And Krishna will say in this chapter now. You read this. Okay, so that's what is thinking about death. Now 7th chapter Krishna says, 8th chapter 7th verse, Krishna says that therefore Arjuna, you should always think of me in form of Krishna, and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, you find this verse, no? Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mamanusmaradyacha. You should always think of me and do your prescribed duties. The point is, we can't stop our duties. That's impossible. You'll not be able to stop it. Something you have to do. So the technique is to do your things at the same time keep on thinking of Krishna. That's how we have to practice. You can't leave everything and go and think of Krishna. That's not possible. We discussed that, no? Karam Sannyasat.
Yes.
You can't do that. Because if you leave everything and go and sit in one place, still your mind is thinking something. So the technique is to, Krishna says, you keep on doing your work, but don't do anything so that you develop hate or desire. And that's possible by devotional life. And then slowly you become attached to Krishna. And then you can go back to Him. Okay, so now we go fast forward and we go ahead. Oh, it's like finish it now. Okay, so we have 10th verse. You come to 10th verse and what Krishna is saying. Now the point is, different people have different method to think about Krishna at time of death. Is it? So some people say, Krishna says in 10th verse, one who at the time of death fixes his life here between eyebrows and by the strength of yoga, with an undeviating mind, engaging himself in remembering the Supreme Lord in devotion, will certainly attain to Supreme Personality of Godhead. Some people, they meditate, chant Om, they activate the Kundali Yoga, they get the energy here, think of Om, at the time of death they think of Krishna and go back. That is the system, Dhyana Yoga. Okay, so you see 11th verse, what he says. Person who are learned in Vedas, who utter Omkar, who are great sages in renounced order, enter into Brahman. So they chant Om, meditate, and they attain Krishna, they attain salvation. But the point is, now come to 12th verse. You see what Krishna. The yogic situation is that detachment from all sensual engagement. So yogis close their all senses, closing all doors of senses, fixing mind on the heart and life here at the top of head. One establishes himself in yoga. Chakra, everything, do that. And 13th verse, after being situated in this yoga practice, vibrating sacred syllable Om, supreme combination of letters, if one thinks of Supreme Personality of Godhead, quits his body, he will certainly reach spiritual planets. That is one system. But it's difficult. System, chakras and all those. So Krishna offers a simple solution in 14th verse. And he says, for one who always remember me without deviation, I am easy to obtain. See, that is difficult process. But I am easy to obtain because of his constant engagement in devotional service. That's the beauty of devotion. He develops a theme and he says, see, that process is difficult, you can't do that, it's difficult. You just think about me, you practice thinking about me, and you will very easily obtain me.
But those are authentic authorized process also.
Yeah, those are authentic. It is mentioned in Vedas. It is mentioned in Yoga Shastras, everything. Chakras, subtle body and everything. But it's difficult to practice because for practicing that spiritual method, you have to go to forest, perfect celibacy. Krishna says here, no? Celibacy in 12th verse. He says, in 12th verse or what? In 10th verse. In 11th. One practices celibacy. How do you practice celibacy in this modern age? You can't. So you have to go to forest, cave. And that's why big yogis, whatever, they were in all, caves and they were practicing since many years. You can't do in Kali Yuga. One dog will bark and you will run away from there. We are not designed like that. We are like, the mind is not that stable. So Krishna says, no problem. You stay wherever you are and you chant my name, you do devotion. And that will be easy. And that is practical. Easy also means practical. Is it? If you say this process is easy, this means this is practical, no? That's another word for saying easy. So, sulabha partha. So, practical. Okay. So, 15th verse, Krishna promises, after attaining me, great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world, which is full of miseries, because they have attained highest perfection. So, you don't come back into this world of miseries. This is world of miseries. We have to understand. This is world of miseries. You can't avoid miseries. It's impossible. So we get permanent solution. Go back to Krishna. And then you can read these verses and we go fast forward. Krishna is telling about himself in between. He's talking about now himself. How to think about him. Krishna says, think about me. So how to think about him? He's explaining. He's giving you some knowledge about him. And then you come here. Last verse, and Krishna tells in last verse, he gives his conclusion, and he says, person who accepts a part of devotional service, 8 chapter 28th verse, Vedeshu ageshu tapasu chayeva daneshu at punya phalam pradishtam ateti tat sarvamidam viditva yogi param sthanam upaiti chadyam. Person who accepts a path of devotional service is not benefit of results deriving from the studying Vedas, performing sacrifice, undergoing austerities, giving charity, pursuing philosophy, fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he will attain all these. At the end, he will reach the supreme eternal abode. So by devotional service is like you have a tree, you cut the root. It's finished. Other processes, you are cutting branches, taking out leaves. That's devotional. One solution for everything. And you get whatever you get by reading Vedas, benefit. Knowledge you get by devotion. Whatever you get benefit by doing yagyas. So what do you get by yagyas? What do you get?
Fulfillment of desire.
Heavenly planets, no?
Yeah.
Pleasure of heavenly planets. Krishna says no problem. Without going to heaven, you will get same pleasure here. In devotional life. Bliss, more than that. So whatever you get by agyas, you get by devotion. Whatever you get by tapasya, what do you get by tapasya? Mystic powers? You get by devotion, mystic powers. You see all saints, big saints, devotee saints in South, and they have all mystic powers they can do. Ramanuja, you know Ramanujacharya? He's still sitting. He's still sitting. His disciples were very unhappy. You're dying. He told, okay, fine. I'll just sit. My body will be here. And still nails grow. They clip. And he's connected to God. So, you get all perfections of tapasya. No problem. Daneshu, you do charity. No problem. Whatever benefit you get by charity. Pious credits. By devotion, you get all pious credits. With devotion, you are not concerned with pious credits, first of all. You get the best thing. Yat punyam phalam pradishta atyeti tatsarvam hridayatva. Whatever you get by these things, you get much, much more. And you become yogi sthanam paramopaiti chadyam. You go back to Krishna. Simple, finished. Your mission of human life is over. You go back to Krishna. Okay, Hare Krishna. It's becoming long. Actually, these verses you should remember. This chapter, every verse is important. So what's that verse? You know that verse? Abrahma Bhuvanal. Punarjanmana Vidya. That's the song.
These kids know the whole of 8 chapters of Bhagavad, all verses.
Fresh memory. Nothing in the memory. Okay, any questions? Otherwise, we'll stop here. We'll stop now.
Prabhuji, here, the last verse, he says, Yogi Param Sthanam Upaiti Chadyam. So, that yogi, how do we understand that refers to Bhakti Yogi? Of course, with the platform of what you explained till now, we can understand. But generally, Krishna, wherever he mentions yogi, Prabhupada translates it as Bhakti Yogi.
Yeah, so I explained whole Gita, why he translates Bhakti Yogi in this chapter. Yeah, because Krishna says in 6th chapter, Yogi Namapi Sarvesham, best yogi is Bhakti Yoga. Because all yogas culminate in Bhakti Yoga, no? So yogi means Bhakti Yoga. Karma Yogi, Jnana Yogi, Dhyan Yogi, Bhakti Yogi. So Prabhupada is taking the point that that process is not valid. Nobody can do that spiritual process, so Bhakti Yoga. That's all. You can't do. I did a lot of yoga before coming to ISKCON. I did Tantra for 1 year. I had a Tantric Guru. Right. Then I went to Rishikesh and Hardwar. I lived for 1 year near Ganges. Like all these yogis are staying. I was practicing yoga like mad. Like I was meditating for 20 hours. Sitting and meditating and all the chakra. But then you know what I found? That this process, if you do this chakras and all these things, you get some kind of peace and satisfaction, but you don't get free of lust. That will not leave you so easily, and that's very difficult to do. All this process, it needs a lot of practice. It needs isolation. You can't be with people. So then I read Gita and then I read Vedas, and devotional service is the only practical method in this age. You can't do anything else. And I practice, that's why I'm telling. It's not theoretical knowledge.
In this age.
In this age, yeah. Previous ages, people used to follow on this.
So, Vijay, I have also practical experience. And like you said in earlier classes, there is a process and there is principle. And the principle, it doesn't matter which process, whether you take Ashtanga Yoga, whether you take Karma Yoga or Bhakti Yoga, because it's very subjective. Right? It's for each has a certain predisposition, certain pre-inclination. But the principle remains the same. Principle is the yoga.
Yeah, principle is the same. Right. You have to fix your mind on God.
Right.
And the most practical process is Bhakti Yoga. You can follow that nicely. Other process is difficult to follow.
Hare Krishna. Anybody on the conference call has any questions?
They have.
Prabhuji,
I
have a question. Like you said, you have to remember Krishna and death all the time, like at the time of death also. Right? So why, if we remember Krishna, it is sufficient, right? Why we have to remember about death?
About death? Because if you don't think about death, then you know what you will say. You will say, Krishna is also nice, this is also nice. This material world. So we'll think about. So Krishna gives example to Uddhav. Krishna says, see, so if you're running towards a destination, you can run. But if somebody is behind you, going to catch you, you will run with double speed. You will not stop also. So you're running towards Krishna, but you should know death is catching me. So your speed will increase and you will not stop. Because if you stop, you're dead. That is why both things you have to remember. Death and that. Krishna gives example to them. And
one more thing, Prabhu, like you said, at the time of death our intelligence is lost, like we can't think. And you also said intelligence is a guiding principle for emotions. So in case of death, because intelligence is lost, now it can't guide emotions.
In case of death? No, that's why you have to prepare emotions previously. Beforehand you should have prepared. Time of that you can't do anything. That's not time of preparation, that's examination.
So you will prepare them so that when it is not there also they will...
Yeah, so when intelligence is not there, still your emotions do not go here and there. That's how you have to guide emotions.
Okay.
And you can test now. I mean to say now everybody is happy, like your emotions are on Krishna. You go out in parties, you do whatever, you will not be able to, you will keep on thinking something nonsense, is it? So emotions, if you block your intelligence, your emotions are wild now. So if everybody program is finished, you all get up, they will become all wild children. Now we are blocking them now. But their tendency is to become wild. So emotions are wild. Now we are blocking. But at the time of death, so you have to practice without even intelligence, that should be proper. So when they become adult, they are okay. So you have to nurture your emotions so that they become adult. They become fixed to God. And then that is called Raganuga Bhakti. Without intelligence. Without under control of intelligence. Okay, yes, Mata.
You were telling about emotional attachment. So, I'm observing that the mind runs away from holy name, runs away from Damodararthi. There are so many things, book distribution. It's very emotionally, it's very disconnected. Although, why it takes...
It takes time, emotion takes time. So, the point is, it takes time. It's not just one day. It takes time. You need practice. You need regular association of devotees. You need also to remember, there are so many concepts we don't know. It's like I am telling you from Gita. So you have lack of knowledge maybe. And it's not one day. It's not one day job. You don't do. Spirituality is not one day. Because one day everybody would have done, no? It takes time. But it will happen. We have faith on Krishna. It will happen. So if it is not happening, increase your speed. That's the idea. This means we are slow. We are slow. We are giving excuses. Is it? What's happening to him? He's hyperactive. Huh? Anyway, that's okay. It's finished. So give more time, extraordinary efforts to keep on increasing. It's not happening, you know why? That's also Krishna's mercy. That it is not happening. Krishna wants you to increase your speed, increase your efforts. Dissatisfaction. Krishna is showing you need to work more. If everything happens now, then you not work. Is it? So you need work. So that's what is happening. Okay? We'll stop here. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.